The name is Retang Sebeka. I am a photographer, director. Let's hold it there. I came in the industry a couple of years ago just with a big passion for fashion photography. The one thing that I really loved about fashion photography is its ability to tell a story, especially in South Africa. At the time, this was like maybe 2016, 17, 18, somewhere around about there. Fashion was just at a place where it was telling authentic stories. Fashion was kind of emerging. There were a lot of stories and a lot of tales being woven into fashion stories. Things that I felt that were very important for me as a kid who grew up in Soweto. I saw a lot of that Sowetan influence in art, in photography, and in the media that was happening at the time. So I've always been very much in love with the idea of telling a story, with completing a narrative. And so when I grew in my photography, going to school for it at the open window, graduating around about in 2020, and then starting to assist in the industry, my love and my passion for that storytelling kind of grew into other avenues. When you start working, I mean, it's like it's cool to know photography from, oh, this is my homies and this is Instagram and we do this thing because it's fun. And then you go into the commercial space and you start seeing that, oh, like fashion, when it comes to being a marketable person, story is one of the things that you kind of don't have to quite care about as much. Like there are a lot of other things that need to happen, like the technicalities of it. If I'm working within fashion, most times we just want to show the clothing. We just want to show how the clothing is beautiful and how we can, the commentary of it, the draping of it, the things that design nerds care about, and they want you to translate that within their images too, which makes sense, right? But then the next level of that is understanding that, okay, cool, even within all of those technicalities on all of these things, you should be able to tell a compelling story. You should be able to kind of grab the audience. It's not enough to show me a picture of a person standing and it's just straight and you can just see the draping and the commentary and the whatever. It's not enough. You kind of have to tell a story. So then the limitation of telling a story within a single frame becomes, you have a single frame to tell a story. Now you have to fill this frame with so much information, with so much stuff. And that led me to finding how else could we tell compelling stories, just not without and bigger stories, right? Because in order to tell a bigger story, you kind of have to add more frames to the story. So then film came in, and directing, and I think it was also working within the commercial space as an assistant, as a photographer, shooting behind TVC, and assisting other photographers that shoot key visuals behind commercials, behind films and stuff like that. That made me see, there's another side of this thing that is also cool, and it's also a challenge that we can, and when I say we, I mean like me, that I can tackle onto that. Because one thing that I really hate, one thing that I really just don't like, is being stagnant and being bored. So as soon as something bores me, I'm always just like, what's the next thing? Like in photography, I'd be like, fashion is cool, and then fashion, not to say that it bored me, but things ran out. To say, it just happens. You want to work with certain people, you just don't make it to work with certain people. Those ideas fade away, whatever. And then you're like, okay, cool, now I want to tell a story in advertising. And then you start shooting advertising, large billboard stuff, and you're like, okay, cool, how can I tell a story there? And you do that, and you're like, oh man, this is cool, but it's a little bit boring. Now what's the next thing to do? And then directing came, and yeah, that's like the current that's the current obsession. That's the current thing that's keeping me, that's waking me up in the morning. This directing and film. I'm so passionate about SA. like you I am so passionate about South Africa. I'm so passionate about Soweto first, Johannesburg second, Limpopo third, the rest of South Africa fifth. Comes after that. But I want to show the weirdness and the craziness of SA. I think this place is such a beautiful place. I think there's no better place to be. So I'm fixated in showing the full-on South African narrative from the weirdest perspective possible, which is my own. So yeah, we're extrapolating folk tales, we're growing and expanding what the expression of the Sowetan person can look like and can do. So you can see it's in the work that I do with Siababa, for example, where we take these narratives, these true, a little bit extrapolated, a little bit crazy, but it's like the realities of life, especially when it comes to, the topics that we dealt with Siababa and all of that stuff. It's like we're talking about truly South African things. And then even in advertising, when I do get an opportunity to direct, I always try to bring in those South Africanisms, true South Africanisms, like not just the braai that is your old dopey and it's a perfect braai. We're talking about that brew who's a braai master, but he never cleans the braai after braaiing. That's the truth of the matter. Is I used to grow up with my brother and he used to host a lot of parties and I cleaned the braai grill. You know what I mean? Like those are the kinds of things that I'm trying to bring in. And I hope that people get it. I'm a little bit weird and I think my humor is a little bit weird and the things that I do are a little bit funky. But I do hope that, the real South Africans can really see it and really get it. So, yeah. Fingers crossed. Cool. Hey, the name is Retang Sebeka. I am a photographer and a director based in Johannesburg. And this has been In Conversation with Mokè Studios.